Duncan. I'm joined with Trinity here. So do you want to just introduce yourself, Trinity, and then we'll get started?
Yeah, absolutely. My name's Trinity. I'm from Business Station. Primarily, my time is spent on the Women in Small Business programs, which we've got some fantastic ones coming up. But we've also got up some fantastic opportunities that are around our one-to-one business coaching. So we'll share a little bit about that at the end. But really looking forward to hearing from you, Paul, today. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise, and can't wait to dive in.
Fantastic. All right. Well, thanks for joining us, and thanks for everybody else for spending the time. As my mentor says, we can spend our money and keep on making more, but once we spend our time, it's gone forever. So I appreciate you spending the next half hour to 40 minutes with myself and Trinity. So hopefully we can give you a little bit of insights and a bit of knowledge that will really help you on the business journey. So I'm going to share my screen. What we're going to be talking about today is what I call the 5-page marketing plan. Now, this has come about from years of talking with my clients, really understanding their biggest pain points. And one of the pain points they've got is marketing, that return on their investment. So I've put a little bit of a 5-page marketing plan together, which will cover the real basic fundamentals that I believe every business should know and really write down to really narrow down on their marketing collateral. So when they do go and market, no matter what platform that is, no matter what campaign, they really hit the ground running. So this particular plan, it'll help you with the content that you need to be putting into your marketing collateral. It will also really nut down on your business objectives, which is really important because you should have a plan in place. And when you do have that plan in place, you really need a good direction for that journey within your business going forward. So I'm going to run through this fairly quickly today. I'll touch on a few of the real important points where you should be really spending a bit of time and a lot of thinking around it. Yeah, look, we will send you through a hard copy of this so you can start working on it at your own leisure. But what it does is it's just pretty much 5 pages. The first page is a little bit of fundamentals around your business. So things like your business purpose, your why you're in business. If you don't, there's an old saying out there, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So, when I'm working with my clients and people around me in business, I'm always trying to encourage them to plan ahead. Plan what you do, because the more you plan, the more you, especially when you're talking about marketing, when you plan that outcome, then you can start putting all those little pieces together and really get some results. So make sure that, you've got a purpose, you've got that why, you've got that vision in place, right? And more importantly, how you're positioning yourself in your particular field of expertise. So, we all talk about being unique. The more unique you are, the more you'll stand out. And I can't emphasize that enough. So make sure that you do have a little bit of a business purpose and write it down, right? I talk to a lot of people in business and it's all up in their head. Document this stuff, because once you start documenting it, then you can start improving it as you go along. So the first thing is just the business purpose. The next part of it is the competitive advantage. These are the things that, the points of difference that you have in your business, or what you do. It could be delivery of your product or service that makes you stand out from your competitors out there. Now, when you start filling this out, I want you to be really conscious of not putting platitudes down there. What I mean by platitudes are things like, oh, I've been in business 30 years. I'm Australian owned. I turn up on time. I use quality products. I don't overcharge. These to me are all platitudes. These are expectations that your clients, your prospects will be looking at and have an expectation not only from you, but people in your industry. So, you just need to dig deep a little bit and start looking at some real competitive advantages, some uniqueness, some value propositions that you can really put in there that make you stand out. Now, this is not easy, but once you start going through this process, right, things start popping up. So make sure you spend some time on this plan. The next one is like business goals. Okay, as I said before, you've got to have some goals in place. When you do put those goals in place, you've got to have some KPIs, some key performance indicators around there as well, some measuring tools in place to make sure that you are on the right track and you are achieving what you want to achieve in your business, and in this particular case, from your marketing activities. So make sure that you put some business objectives out there that are going to align with your marketing objectives going forward. The next one on this page is obviously your marketing goals. Now, this could be a financial goal, right? So you could put in per year, you want to get a return on your marketing, or it could be, people. So if I've just spoken to a client a couple of days ago, and their main marketing activity or their outcome for their marketing at the moment is to build a database. Okay, that's all. So, their whole marketing for the next 6 to 8 weeks is purely to build a database so they can reach out to them and remarket them. So their marketing goals per year could be, 10, 100 or 10 to 100 new leads or new people on their database over the next 3, 6, 12 months. So whatever works for you, it could be financial, it could be operational, right? It could be, your marketing goals might be, to build a tribe on Facebook in your Facebook group, for instance. Okay, but make sure it's very, very specific. So then you can start looking per year, per month, and then per week. Okay, because I'm all for trying to break things down into small chunks. I get really, really frustrated when business owners come and say, I've been working on this particular marketing strategy for a long, long time. And I said, well, why isn't it working? They have no idea. It's because they're seeing the big picture. They're seeing where they want to be in 12 months' time, but they have no idea what they need to do on a month-to-month basis and a weekly basis and even a daily basis to achieve that. So make sure that you really, really get specific around your marketing goals. On the next page of the marketing plan, right, we start going into the target market, which is really, really important to, once you identify your ideal target market, then your content, your communication, what you're communicating becomes very, very specific. So you're reaching the right person, okay? And, in my case, I say it's pre-qualifying your target market, so you're not wasting time looking at, we've all gone through that when we've done our marketing. We spend a lot of time trying to pre-qualify the people. If you can do that within your marketing collateral, it'll save a lot of time and a lot of money as well. So make sure that you really, really get specific on your target market. Now, it could be, and I've heard this many times, I have a target market. And when we look at age groups, for instance, when we look at the demographics, I work anywhere between, 18-year-olds to 65-year-old people, right? Well, that's not specific. So you've got to dig down and say, well, okay, what is, that closer in that age group, for instance. And I did this with one of my clients a couple of years ago, and they said, yeah, look, I've got a wide range of age groups that I work with, and they're all targeted. And I said to them, well, let's break them down. Who's your best person or target that is an A-grade customer to you? And they said, when we started looking at it and doing this exercise, they found that the younger crowd, right, the people from like 18 to 25, spent a lot more money without thinking about it. So it's a lot more easier for them to target that kind of person and get a better result. So in this particular case, they were spending about $1,000 on social media campaigns, from Instagram right through to Facebook. Okay, up to LinkedIn, right? So they were, spreading their $1,000 across 3 platforms. But what they realized is Instagram is where the major target from like 18 to 25-year-olds were hanging out. So they put a lot more money in that platform and got a lot better results from, sales, turnover wise, because they were spending more money in a targeted platform. So hopefully that makes sense to you, right? So spend a little bit of time on, demographics, age, gender. I hear it a lot. I work with male and female. Well, hang on, is it a male or a female that really, really, when you dig deep, is your ideal person? Family status, they could be, single, they could be married, they could have kids. Okay, so just start sort of, breaking it down as best as possible. Location, you know, whether that's local, statewide, nationally, or it could be a global target market. So spend a bit of time on this, okay? It's really, really important to try and really, really nut that down. The next one, I think, is the most important, right? This is the psychographic side of it. So where a lot of business owners don't dig deep when they talk about their ideal target market, their ideal avatar. So what I'm talking about here is that emotional hot buttons, those, you know, those pain points. You mean, what's the problems, the fears, the wants, the aspirations of your ideal target market? What's going through their head? You know, what I say to business owners is try and get in the shoes of your ideal prospect and start talking their language. Okay? When you start talking about the problems, the fears, you start resonating with them on a whole different level. And you've probably heard many, many times, you know, to get a good prospect into a sale and into a client, you've got to build that know, like, and trust up. You've got to build up that little bit of relationship. Okay, when you start talking their language around their fears, their problems, and you starting to put that solution to it, you're then resonating them a lot quicker. So make sure that you do spend a bit of time on the psychographics, right? Do a bit of research, look out. You could do some polls on Facebook to your clients and ask them questions. What is their problems? Not only with working with you, but working with your industry. Okay, because it could open up some new ways of actually making you communicate something that makes you different out there. Okay, so really, really good exercise to do. The third part of it is we start going into a little bit of sort of measuring tools. So things like how you're, what I call a capturing strategy. So, I mean, what's the main ways that you're actually capturing leads? Because without leads, you can't do conversions, and without conversions, you can't make sales. So it's just a formula that you fall across. So do you want to add anything while I'm going through, Trinity?
No, look, the thing that I really love about this strategy is that it's so succinct, and it's something that you can actually keep on your desk. Like, if we're keeping it this high level, just to the 5 pages like that, it means that it's a living document, and it's something that you can actually refer to and keep in front of you. Like, you really know and understand your ideal customer avatar, and you can make smart decisions about them.
Definitely, yeah.
So we've got a couple of questions that are coming
Yep.
through, Paul, if you wouldn't mind. So Patricia's just asked if we can get a copy of the 5-page marketing plan pages after the event.
So we will send out a hard copy of this. I'll get an email out to you guys with a hard copy of this and a couple of other little bit of templates to help you through and really get that mindset, especially around the psychographic areas. So how to find those problem areas and those pain points.
Brilliant.
So,
And then Jennifer has also asked, does this work well with the service industry, such as professional tutoring?
yes, definitely. So, I mean, it works with any industry, any business, whether it's a product or a service-based business. This is just a fundamental. So, I mean, when you start digging deep in, this is about understanding your ideal market, your ideal target, your ideal client, your ideal customer, your ideal patient, whatever industry you're in, right? And, it's your ideal one. Right, it might not be the clients that you're servicing right now. It might be where you want to be going. Okay, we all have those. I mean, what I say is that we have our A, B, C, and D grade customers. What I want to try and do in my business is just concentrate on the A and B grade customers and keep the C and D grade customers for my competitors. And we all know what those C and D grade customers look like. They're the ones that don't pay on time. They don't listen to you. They don't turn up for appointments. They're complaining about everything. I mean, to me, that's the C and D grade customers. So, when you do this exercise, you're looking at your A and B grade customers, the ones that you want to work with, the ones that pay you. Don't complain about what you do, and we all have them in our business. And we always say, I wish I didn't have these clients in my business because they just take up so much time. And it's that 20-20-80 rule, just working with the 20% of the clients that are bringing in 80% of your results. So, yeah. Okay, so moving on, right? As I said, try and get some sort of capturing strategy, how you're capturing your leads, okay? Make it very, very specific, right? The next one is nurturing strategy, okay? So when I talk about nurturing strategy, it's about, the ways that you're nurturing those people that might have reached out to you, but might not have bought anything from you. Or they might have bought something from you, they might have bought a service, or they might have bought a product, but they haven't bought recently. Okay, how are you keeping in contact with them? How are you just, nurturing them through, right? Portraying that you really value them as a client, a customer and a patient. Okay, so that could be something like a newsletter, keeping them up to date with new stuff that's happening. It could be, weekly, fortnightly, monthly, depends on your industry. Emails, could be texts. I've got a client that just does a text once a fortnight. Just, hi, how's it going? Here's a new product that I've just got on. Thought it might be interesting for you to know. If you've got any problems, reach out. Those kinds of things. It's just keeping in touch. Now, when I proposed this to a few of my clients, some of them have come back and said, I don't have time to do this. If that's the case, then look at automating it. There's a lot of software, there's a lot of tools out there that will automate this. Okay. For the last probably 5-6 years in my business, right, I've set it up as an autoresponder in a software. So when somebody does reach out, might not buy from me, they actually go segmented into the back end of a autoresponder, right? And they get fortnightly emails until they either subscribe, right, or unsubscribe, or they subscribe to one of my programs. Okay, either one. So, just have a look at your industry, look at what you do, and see how you're nurturing your prospects and your clients. Okay, you still got to keep in contact with your clients ongoing as well, because there might be a chance of them buying again from you, or we start talking about the referral-based programs and anything like that as well. So make sure you've got a nurturing strategy in place. The next one is conversion strategy. When you get these leads, how are you converting them into a sale? Okay, what's the two main ways that your strategy is taking those leads that have reached out and turning them into a sale? Okay, what process? What are you doing to make sure that they're not falling through the cracks and that you're not losing a sale, right? Because you just don't have that strategy in place. The next one is optimization strategy. So, what are you doing to increase that average dollar sale with your clients? I'm working with a client at the moment, right? And they have probably about 300-400 people come through the door on a daily basis. Okay. So then I said to them, how are you increasing the average dollar sale? And they're not. So they put in a strategy that every person that came in that wanted, they had an added value offer that cost 50 cents. Not a lot, just a 50 cents extra, okay? And they were surprised. They put that in straight away, and they were really surprised on how much their turnover increased over that week just by offering a 50-cent, a value offer to them. Okay, so think about McDonald's, how they do it, right? Would you like fries with that? They're always upselling, cross-selling, downselling, all that. That's their optimizing strategy to make sure that they're increasing their sales with their current clients. So make sure that you've got a strategy in place for that. Okay, try and keep it to 1 or 2, right? Don't overcomplicate it, right? Because the more that I've had people that say, yeah, look, I've got a conversion strategy and there's 6 ways I can convert. Well, they're not focused on it, all right? Just keep it to 1 or 2 and really, really focus on those. The next one on this page is reactivation strategies. So what I mean by reactivation strategies is those clients, right, that have bought from you. They might have, bought your product, gone through your program, used your service, right, and gone through that, and they're just sitting there. How are you going to reactivate them into sales? And it might not be, they might not buy from you, but the reactivation strategy might be to reach out to them and ask them, who do they know? that referral based, right? Puts it, put a little bit of an incentive program around it. And this works really, really well to reactivate your clients that have bought from you. You've done the hard work, they've bought from you, you've built up that know, like, and trust. You've built up that relationship. Don't lose that. Reach out to them, see if they want to buy anything that you've done, especially new products, right? Comes back to that nurturing strategy. That nurturing strategy might be keeping your clients up to date with new products, new services. If you're in I've got a client that's in the fashion industry, and every 6 months they have new lines coming in. Right. So they're updating their clients on a regular basis of the new stuff coming in, and they're just reactivating those clients on an ongoing basis. So make sure that you've got something in place that's really, really targeted at looking at your past clients and trying to monetize that as much as possible. Moving to the next page, we start looking at a little bit more depth of the campaigns that are going to fit in to get the results or get the return on your investment for your marketing. Okay, so when you start going through this process, and don't jump ahead, right? This is just a recipe for success. Just follow the recipe, because once you know your target market, then you can start identifying where they hang out the most. Okay, as I said before, this client was spread across, one of my clients was spread across 3 platforms: Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. 3 different demographics within those platforms. Okay, but he was reaching out to each one of them because he made a sale from all those demographics. But what he found was, when he did this exercise and found out his ideal client was a bit of a younger crowd, which didn't really, spent the money without really analyzing it, where a lot of older and mature people analyze the cost of what they're doing before they press the button and buy, where a lot of younger people, they just buy. Right, they're living off credit and whatever. So he identified that was his biggest market and where his ideal client was, and he made a lot of money out of it. So he then put this campaign planner together, more focused around Instagram, where his ideal clients were hanging out, rather than that little bit of the hope marketing. I'll be across all platforms and hope I'll make a sale. So this is what this whole marketing plan is around, is to try to start digging deep, funneling down, so you get a better return, not only financially, but operational as well, because it does take time to do your marketing, right? So you do need a return on that as well. So this is about, looking at your campaign, right? Name your campaign, or name your strategy within that campaign about what you want to achieve. So things like, 30 leads in the next 30 days. Okay, that's the strategy within that campaign. So make sure that you name the strategy of what your outcome or what you want to achieve from that. Okay, there's a psychological thing that happens when you start naming the campaign for what you want to, or naming the strategy within that campaign of what you want to achieve. A little bit of a brief explanation, right? More about the outcome, what you want. So then you can start coming back and having that little bit of the measuring tools around it. Describe the success. What I mean by that is, how do you know you've achieved it? Do you then, at the end of the month, if your whole campaign's around getting 30 hot leads in the next 30 days, after 30 days, what's the success? How are you going to measure that? Is it, okay, you look at your CRM and you've increased your leads by 30 or 50 in the last month, you know that you've achieved the objective. Who's responsible? Is it you? Is it your digital marketing person? Is it your VA? Whoever is responsible for it, put it in there. Okay. Then also, who and what can help. Okay, so you might want to reach out to other people that can help you with that marketing to really, really get the traction with it. Okay. Then it's down into the action steps. What's the step-by-step process to get that campaign and that strategy working so you get the best results? Then down the bottom, it's about the measuring tools. You can then go back and say, yes, look, I ran a Facebook page for the last 30 days. This was the outcome I wanted to do, right? This is what's going to help. This is what, who's going to help me with it. This was the content. Then you can start running and with a little bit of measuring tools to say, well, okay, was the result what I wanted? right? You know, what was the budget that I put on there, right? Did I get a return on it, right? Because, you know what I mean, if you don't measure, you can't improve. So make sure that you're really, really digging deep, right, on the returns of what you're spending. If someone says to you that you need to market for the next 17 or 20 days to get brand recognition, and then people will flood to your door, then hop on the phone and I'll have a discussion with you, because I want that straight out of your mind. Okay. You need to get a return on your marketing dollar no matter what you do. Okay. The last one, as I said, is really that results tracker. So then you can start really nutting down of where you can improve. So it could be, you know, I mean, your prospects. If you know, I mean, a lot of marketing should be around getting your prospects in it, which then turn into leads, then turn into sales, or you convert them into sales. Okay, so you know, make sure that you know, you've got an outcome of, if you do a marketing campaign and it's about getting some prospects into your database, okay, then put in, you know, what that means to you. Is that 20 a week? Is that 100 a month? Whatever the case may be, right? And then find out what your current marketing is doing and how you can improve. So this is a little bit of a results tracker that you can start tracking some of your existing marketing and start improving on it. So things from prospects, leads, you know, cost per lead. Okay, so if you're doing a Facebook ad, for instance, and it costs you $500 and you're getting 100 leads, you know that it's going to cost you $5 a lead. Okay, that kind of stuff. So, you know, very, very important to start putting some measuring tools in place and start tracking them. The last one is a little bit of a bonus page, right, where you can start putting down the learnings that you're going forward, because you should be tracking them. You should be looking at on a week-to-week, month-to-month basis of your marketing, seeing how you can improve and start putting some learnings down. What have you learned from other people? Looking at your competitors' marketing, for instance. I always encourage clients to look at their competitors and see how they're marketing and where the gaps are, especially around, you know, the communication about being unique and that value proposition. You know, roadblocks, there could be some roadblocks in place. Start documenting these down and bringing them front of mind, because then you can start moving forward. And last is a little bit of, you know, the next steps, what you can improve and what you're going to do differently with your marketing. So pretty much that's a bit of an overview of the marketing plan. Okay. Hopefully it makes sense to you, right? I can't emphasize enough how important this is. Okay. One of the biggest things that I want you to be thinking about is that, you know, if you look at people's buying decisions, right? People buy 80% emotionally and 20% logic. Okay, so really, really get behind the emotional hot buttons and start communicating that. And I can guarantee that you'll start resonating with your ideal clients, customers, and then they will reach out to you for what you're selling and doing. So yeah. So do you
Yeah,
want to
that's
add to that, Trinity?
fantastic,
Yeah.
Paul. Yeah, look, we've just got a little bit of a question. Could you expand on what a CPA is?
CPA. Cost per lead or CPA?
CPA.
So CPA. Where did I mention CPA?
I'm not sure. Potentially it was around the cost per lead then.
Yeah, it was about cost per lead, right? So that's about cost per lead. I think so. Jennifer, just if that's what you were talking about, I can emphasize about cost per lead. So yeah, a long time ago we used to do cost per click. If people remember the cost per click when we first came out, it's cost per acquisition. So cost per acquisition is about you know, breaking it down and saying, well, okay, if I'm paying so much for a lead, right, and then into a conversion and then into a sale and then into a client, right, because there is steps that you need to be taking, and there is a cost to doing that. Okay, so when we talk about cost per acquisition, we talk about what we're paying up front and what it's cost us throughout the whole process to get that client, to get that sale, to get that transaction at the end of the day. Okay. Now, what I want you to be thinking about when you're talking about cost per acquisition, I want you to be thinking about the long-term value of that customer. Okay. If you're in a business like myself where I could get a client on board, and I might, with my marketing and my cost per acquisition through that process to get them involved with me, I might lose money on it. Okay, at the end. So they might become a client of mine on a low cost program, right? And it's cost me to get them to that state. But I know that if they start working with me, I can then start selling them a higher price program as they go along. So it's that try before I buy. So for me, my cost per acquisition, right, could be really, really high, right? But I know long term I'll get that back, okay? Because it's not a one-off. Okay, so you've got to look at your business, you've got to look at your industry, look at what you do, right? And if it's just a one-off, if you've got a product that you're marketing, you could have an e-commerce store that you're marketing to get people to your e-commerce website, and it's a one-off sale, then your cost per acquisition needs to be low. But if you've got a business like myself and other, people in my industry that have a lifetime value of that client, okay, then, you can look at it a little bit differently. So hopefully that makes sense.
Fantastic. Okay, we've got another excellent question here. So when we're looking at the CPA, do we calculate the time cost or just the monetary cost?
Look, it depends on your industry and what you do, but yes, I would always, especially in anything that you do around marketing, I would allocate the time that you're spending to do that campaign or any marketing collateral that you're doing, put that in the cost of the acquisition as well, because, it is a cost. It is a cost of the business. It's taking you away from what I call money generating activities. Okay, doing marketing is a long term to get the money in, but delivering your product, delivering your service is what I call money generating activities. Okay, so make sure that you are putting in that time that you're spending, doing the Facebook ad, putting it on there, doing those, doing the content for that stuff as well, doing the flyers, doing the design and whatever. I would incorporate that into the cost. Right. And sometimes you've just got to look at how much you value your hourly time and put that in. So, yeah.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. We've got one more question here about the aim, like the overarching goal of this. So are we using the 5-page planner as a focus tool? As there seems to be a lot of work within each of these areas,
Okay.
correct?
Yes. So look, it's all about a return on your investment for your marketing dollar. Okay. And as I say to business owners, the more you understand your market, the better return you're going to get. Okay. So yes, I would be using this as a really, really focused, especially if you've done marketing before, you're currently doing some marketing and you're not getting the results that you require, then I'd be pulling this marketing tool out, this planner, right, and really filling out these gaps as best as possible. Then go back out. Could be the same platforms, the same marketing you got. It could just be in a different platform. It could be a different communication, right, that's going to really, really resonate with your target market. So yes, I would be looking this as a focus tool, right? And look, I can put my hand on my chest to say I've spoken to clients. I've worked with a lot of clients over the last 20 years, right? And when we get down to the marketing of their results from their marketing, and I go through this little bit of a scenario, I mean, the demographics, the psychographics, it then becomes easier for them to come up with the content that is going to resonate with their ideal clients and start attracting those. And they get a better return on their investment when they do. So, don't just think, oh, yeah, it's a lot of work. Is it really worth it? I can guarantee it'll be worth it for you going forward.
Fantastic. That's really helpful, Paul. Thank you very much.
So have we got any other questions? Or that's pretty much right. So, yeah, so a couple of things to take away, right? The deeper you go, the better the outcome. All right. So really, really dig deep when you're asking these questions, especially around the target market, your demographics and your psychographics. The deeper you go, the better you become. You know, and focus on your ideal target. You know, be really, really specific. You know, right? You might work with, you know, males and females, but hang on, what's the ideal client? You know, I mean, oh yeah, I like working with females over males because males tend to, you know, don't turn up for appointments, or, you know, don't turn up or don't return back for a long time, or whatever the case may be. Really, really dig deep, really specific around your ideal target. Okay. Because the more specific you get, the better the outcome will be.
That's fabulous.
Yeah. So yeah, if we've got any other questions or anything, I'm quite happy. But what I will do is to probably tomorrow, I will send an email out with a hard copy of this marketing plan, 5-page marketing plan. If you do have any issues, then reach out to myself or Trinity and we'll be able to help you through that, or you can flick me a quick email through it. Now, yeah, so hopefully you've got a few ideas around that. So Trinity, do you want to just close us with something that you've got?
Sure, great. Well, we're very excited at Business Station. We have launched a brand new one-to-one business coaching program. And you are among the very first that are going to get the opportunity to join that. This is where you get personalized support from Colin and from Paul. And this is really targeted to address your unique challenges and to really leverage the opportunities within your specific target market, like Paul has been speaking about today. So this program, it gives you access to expert guidance from Colin and from Paul, who each bring such a wealth of knowledge and a really diverse background of their experiences to their coaching. And look, what I love about Colin and Paul is they are so focused on results that you can see. They're all about the tangible outcomes. They're all about the action items. Accountability is huge. You're going to see your revenue increase. You're going to see improvements in your operations, and you're going to see those higher customer retention rates from the strategies that they're going to help you implement. There's a QR code on your screen there that you can scan to get a little bit more information, but very generously, Paul is offering the first session absolutely free, only for webinar attendees. So yes, we'll send around a copy of the recording, a soft copy of the document from tonight, the 5-page marketing plan, and also your very special link where you can book in your free first coaching session with Paul. So make sure you take up that opportunity. It really could be the thing that you've been waiting for to change the game in your business.
Great. Thank you very much for that. That's good. So yep, we'll be able to watch this back again at a later time. Yes, you will be. Where can we obtain info on the coaching program, cost, time, etc.? As Trinity said, we'll flick an email to you with all that information and the QR code to book a free coaching session with me, which is really, really valuable. I thoroughly encourage you to take up that offer, and we'll talk about anything that you've got any challenges or frustrations in your business around. It might not be marketing, might be something else. I'm quite happy to talk about that, just to help you through the business of your journey of business, I should say. So yeah. Okay, well, thank you very much. I really, really appreciate you joining me, as I said before, and thank you for your input today, Trinity, and your expertise around that as well. So, guys, take care. Have a fantastic night, or if you're watching this recording, a fantastic day, profitable day, and we'll be looking forward to catching you on the next session next month. Take care and stay safe.
Thanks, Paul. Bye for now.
Bye.